and my culture and being representative of said culture.
Can you tell us all something about Puerto Rican culture that you think that most Americans might not know about?
Um, we are very, very, very prideful people. So, for instance, I know a lot of the times we're so prideful that, like, if you were to make like a simple mistake of like, oh, are you Mexican? Like, that's not that serious, but I know typically we take it to great offense just because we have so much pride in our flag and.
But that's the whole Latinx community in general. That's not just. Is there any? Not to come at you.
I think. Well, I mean, not to come at you, but I think I would know more than you. Putting it out there. But yeah, we're very, very prideful. Even we're all just like a big unified family, and one of the examples that I can give to that is recently we had some government issues happen in Puerto Rico because the governor had been embezzling money, and millions of people from Puerto Rico took it upon themselves to rally up. And we receive support from even people that live in the States, just as a support type of group. So we're very, very, very unified. I think that's good.
Can you describe any other values and customs that are distinct to Puerto Rican culture?
I would say yeah, Three Kings Day, but I'm not sure that's entirely like a distinctively a Puerto Rican thing, but it is something that we celebrate in early January, post Christmas. So like making homage to the Three Kings. I believe it's a Catholic thing. So we have like a set of gifts that are given to the children. So like we would put out like hay and carrots for like the reindeer, and the children would, and then they would receive gifts in turn. A few other things. I know just schooling is very, very different too. Like it's like not out of the ordinary, for instance, like let's say during lunch breaks and stuff like that, for the kids or young adults to be like let out of the school, like, and to go home for lunch or something like that. School is kind of just like, I'm not sure, it's very different. I don't even think I believe high school also like starts earlier, or later I should say, than ninth grade. I know when we celebrate Christmas and stuff like that, it's almost like a big. It's kind of like a second Thanksgiving. We have a big family gathering during Noche Buena, which is Christmas Eve, where we kind of just like, it's very family oriented, and stuff like that, and we just spend time with each other. Some distinctive dishes like arroz con gandules, which is like rice with chickpeas, pasteles, arroz con dulce, which is kind of like rice pudding. Those are like traditional Christmas things.
And earlier you mentioned Christianity for the Three Kings holiday. Can you expand on how Christianity is an aspect of Puerto Rican culture?
I want to say it's a big part of just like who we are and how we're raised. Even a lot of our Christmas songs, to be honest, are religious in nature, and it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of like how we were brought up and like how we do things. We always pay homage to God, so God's always first. I know a lot of the sayings that the older adults would say, Like, oh, I'll for instance, I'll say like, oh, I can't wait to go home, and they'll be like, well, if God wants it.
All right. Now that we have some background on your culture, can you explain to all of us what the Latin American Association is and what its purpose is on campus?
Go ahead.
Oh, me? Well, personally, I'm not a part of the organization, but from my understanding is that...
Yeah, LAA is supposed to be a representation of all Latinx communities, so South America, Mexico, Puerto Rico, I knew you were gonna laugh at me. The Dominican Republic, but we also like to recognize Afro-Latinas and Afro-Latinos in the community. So people from Haiti who might be Dominican at the same time, we still like to recognize every single shade of Latin. That makes sense.
Are there certain stereotypes or adversity that Latin Americans from different ethnic backgrounds face, do you feel?
Oh yeah, I feel like they all I feel like they all face different things. I know, for instance, Fluffy, who is Mexican and he's an immigrant, faces like, I mean, like they all face similar things, but they all have like unique stories, I should say. Fluffy, for example, he came from Mexico, again, an immigrant, and his process to getting through America was way rougher for him and way traumatic than it was for other people. But to go back to like the stereotype question, is people always assume that like, and I don't want to overspeak because I'm not in part of the community or the culture, but a lot of people assume that everyone who is Latin came from out of the country and had a hard struggle and all these things, and not saying that they don't have struggles, but it's like not everybody has a terrible family and like a terrible situation. So I guess like people always view the community as so negative when really there's so many positives. So that stereotyping of, oh, it's like a bad situation, like bad Mexican family, like that type of thing, that makes sense. Do you agree or no?
You feel there's a lot of diversity within the Latin American cultures, including Puerto Rican culture?
Oh my god, see.
Can you expand on that, like describe it a little bit?
Again, Puerto Rico is like made up of, it's made up of like so many different races. It's not just like Puerto Rican. There's like Afro-Latinas in that community. I keep seeing Latina, but Afro-Latinx in the community. So I feel like Puerto Rico is so diverse, but also, go ahead.
It is very diverse. But you know, like not just like that Latinx community as a whole is just diverse. We have so many different dialects and customs and just ways that we do things. We speak differently. It's just very diverse. Lots of different customs. Like some of my friends that are Dominican and stuff like that, or Cuban. There are some things that we do similarly, but then there are plenty of things that we do differently, from food to religion to just music choice, our upbringing, just a variety of factors.
Can you, both you and Summer keep mentioning Latinx. What does the X in Latinx mean? What does that word mean?
It's like a non-binary term. Instead of saying like Latino and Latina, it just includes every single person in the Latin community. So the X just symbolizes like unity and like equality across. Sometimes you hear it be called like what is it? The older people call it like Latin O, or Solis calls it Latin O for some reason. But Latinx is just like a unified term. So me saying like, oh, Albert's Latinx, that's just saying that he's Latin. I'm not giving him a gender to that name.
Okay, so it's like a gender neutral term?
Yeah, you could say so, yeah.
Okay. And also, you mentioned that you say things differently. Can we go over like a few Puerto Rican phrases and terms that are distinct to Puerto Rican culture?
Yes, not that. I know